BXB. It's in the game.
Hey guys, it's me Bang back with another of my quick reviews for bxbgames.co.uk, and this time I'm looking at a self-proclaimed hardcore neon slasher. Yeah, that's a slightly weird way of describing a video game, but that is how the guys behind Phantom Trigger have described it, and I guess to a degree it's very true. The first thing you notice is that it has really good music, especially on the title screen, and pretty good sound design throughout, and then you kind of get into this sort of pretty weird intro where maybe your character, maybe not, I don't really want to spoil where the story goes, drops down unconscious while at home with the wife, and quickly things progress to the point where you're not in Kansas anymore, Jimmy. You're now in some neon weird place with creatures and strange characters, and it definitely has like a cyberpunk underworld vibe to it, which is kind of fun and cool. And the art style is pretty cool. It's pixel art, it's got like lots of dripping pinks and blues, and it definitely does live up to the neon descriptor. It does some design stuff that's quite nice with perspective, with items in the foreground sometimes obscuring your view in the background, though that can get frustrating in combat. And then, yeah, there's the fighting, the slasher part of the descriptor. It's okay. You basically have 3 attacks mapped to the different face buttons, so the X, the Y, and the B button, each of which plays a little differently. You've got like your sword slash on X, and you've got a whip attack, and then you've got like a big heavy melee attack with the B, and then A has a dash move. So mobility and combat, it feels a bit like Hyper Light Drifter in presentation and in control, though it doesn't feel quite as polished and as tight as that game did, sadly. There are some puzzle elements in the game as well, which I quite enjoyed, usually involving like Simon Says mechanics or block pushing mechanics, and all of that made, you know, easy enough sense. I think the best combat element is the integration of the whip into combat strategies and combos, so you can pull in enemies closer. Enemy design is okay. There's enough variety in there to keep it interesting, but the problem I had with, while the story is quite experimental and strange to do with this kind of connection to the real world, and there's other place that, you know, gets developed as the game goes along, it maybe didn't sort of hook me in as a coherent world design. Like I said, the game looks nice, it sounds nice, and it plays pretty good. I just felt like the combat was perhaps a little bit underserviced. While the game has roguelike elements, it does have a pretty forgiving respawn system. There's leveling system, there's some RPG elements in there as well, where you level up your different attacks the more you use them. It's all fairly standard, and at this point it doesn't feel particularly unique, which I think is the biggest problem for Phantom Trigger. That Hyper Light Drifter and games of that ilk already exist, and Titan Souls and stuff like that, so these sort of top-down action slasher games don't feel particularly fresh and particularly engaging at this point. However, there's fun to be had here. It's always exciting to see another game put out by Tiny Build. They're always pushing the forefront for the indie publishing scene, and they're always bringing out new product, and it's not always something that clicks 100% with me, but I actually quite like my time with Phantom Trigger. I don't think it's the best example of the genre available on Xbox, but it's by no means a slouch, and therefore, because of all of that, I'm going to give it a very fair, very middle of the road, 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.